Hello everyone, my name is Daria, welcome back to my channel. And for my first video of this new year, I thought that I would make good on a promise I made you guys a while ago and finally film the second part of my witch reading vlog. I think it's actually been like almost a year to the exact day since I posted that first video. For those of you who are stumbling upon this video for the first time, I'll go ahead and catch you guys up. But before we go any further, I want to thank Kinder Beauty for sponsoring this video. I recently received my first Kinder Beauty box and I was so excited, and they did not disappoint. Kinder Beauty is a subscription box that is vegan and cruelty-free, and it was created by some very familiar and very well-loved faces, Daniela Monet and Ivana Lynch. Inside every single Kinder Beauty box, you will find $165 worth of hair, skin, and makeup products, but the box itself costs as little as $23. So I thought that I would go ahead and show off some of the goodies that I received in my box. The first thing I want to show you guys is this lip and cheek tint. I'm the kind of person who likes very natural looking lip colors. I'm not one to go for a bold lip, so this pretty much worked out perfectly for me. Now next we have these under eye patches. I popped them on for about 15 minutes, got my reading done. I struggle with redness, dryness, itchiness around my eyes all the time, and these were a godsend. Next up we have what is definitely the crowning glory of this entire box for me, which is this makeup remover glove. You just have to wet it a little bit and it just takes the makeup off so seamlessly. Like, look at how much product is on that thing after I'm done. And after I go in with the moisturizer and serum, for me, it's all about hydration, hydration, hydration. I am prone to a lot of dryness. This moisturizer and serum combo, it's just incredible. The first box you're going to receive is the Kinder Faves box. And if you sign up for a 3 to 6 month plan, you can also get a bonus box thrown in for free. When you become a subscriber, you then automatically become a part of the Kinder Club. And this means you can start earning points. And then you can use those points towards purchases made in the marketplace. And not to worry, the marketplace is actually open to everyone, non-subscribers and subscribers alike. Once again, thank you so much to Kinder Beauty for sponsoring this video, and if you guys want to get your first box for 50% off, you can use my code FullofLit50 and the link down below. The Witch comics were a fantasy series that centered on 5 young girls, Will, Irma, Tehrani, Cornelia, and Haylin, and of course all their names spell out the acronym WITCH. The girls discover that they are the guardians of Kandrakar, and they basically have to protect the magical world and the real world and just sort of deal with any monsters that go in between the two. All of them have elemental powers. You have Haylin, who controls air, Cornelia controls earth, Irma controls water, Tehrani fire, and Will sort of controls like energy, and she is the keeper of the heart of Kandrakar. The original comic series was released in the early 2000s, and there was also a Disney Channel animated show based on the books. And recently, Disney has started re-releasing the comics and expanding the story. During the original run of the comic series in the 2000s, there were only like 8 graphic novels, and the rest of the story was told in chapter book form. Now though, the entire story is in a graphic novel format. There are currently 26 volumes out. Now the last time I was here doing this, I read volumes 1 through 9. I've also read 3 additional volumes in my own time, which means I'm currently on volume 12, and that is the beginning of a new arc, because every single arc consists of about 3 volumes. Am I going to be able to read up until volume 26 in this one vlog, in this one weekend? I honestly doubt it, but I guess that just means I'll have to film a part 3 to this, and based on my track record, you will probably get it in January 2023. So like I mentioned, I have actually read 3 volumes and covered an entire arc without you guys. I know, I'm so sorry, but I'm here to catch you guys up on what went down. The arc is entitled The Trials of the Oracle, and it covered volume 10, volume 11, and volume 12. So basically what's happening is that the congregation of Kandrakar has decided that the Oracle is just not pulling its weight. He's not fulfilling the job description he was hired for, and they're thinking about booting him out and getting someone new. And then, hearing all these doubts, the Oracle pulls an absolute girl boss move and puts himself on trial. The Guardians are called in to testify, and let's just say that they do not have the most glowing endorsement of the Oracle. So long story short, he ends up being canned. So then the council or congregation, however you want to call them, they nominate and vote in Darno to be the new Oracle. And Darno is campaigning hard against the Guardians. He thinks that they are too immature, too young to have this kind of responsibility. He is also talking a lot of shit about Elion, saying that she is also not fit to be the queen of Meridian. And he seems to have a vendetta against all of our main characters, and that is quickly explained, because what do you know? Indarno is actually Phobos. So Arube goes in search of the old oracle, and she finds him, and he is now living under his real name, Himmerish, I think is how you pronounce it. So Himmerish, Arube, and the Guardians all team up to make sure that Indarno, aka Phobos, will not be officially instated as the Oracle. They manage to find the real Indarno, and they reveal the big plot to everybody. Phobos is defeated, the Oracle will soon be reinstated, and the girls are just back to living their everyday middle school / high school lives. And that's what you missed on Witch. The next arc I'm going to be covering, hopefully entirely in this vlog, is the Book of Elements, and it is the longest arc yet, with 4 volumes to its name. We're in totally uncharted territory for me. I have no idea what to expect. I mean, I have a general sense of what to expect because I feel like the Witch arcs follow a certain pattern. I'm sure that there will be relationship drama, school drama. I'm sure that 2 or more of the girls will fight with one another, and that will affect their bond and their friendship. There will be an external threat of some kind of monster or new enemy, and then the girls have to try to like band together just in time to defeat said enemy. That's usually how these things go. And I'm not mad at it, really. I mean, the formula works. So without any further ado, let's get started. So the first volume in this arc is finished, and based on what I've read so far, I have a strong feeling this is going to be one of my favorite arcs so far. There's so much going on here, so many like juicy plot lines that are all interconnected. I'm loving it. So first let's talk about Cedric, who was Phobos's like right-hand guy, but he actually turned on Phobos in the last arc, and now he's imprisoned. So the Oracle decides that he's gonna give him like one last shot at redemption. He's going to send him back to Heatherfield to live there as a normal person, so he stripped him of like all his powers. But Cedric is currently, at the moment, not at all interested in a redemption arc. He is just like fully focused on finding a way to get back at the Guardians. And both he and the Guardians, around the same time, find out that there is apparently this ancient history book that was written by this person hundreds of years ago in the town of Heatherfield, who discovered the power of the 5 elements. So obviously Cedric wants to find it to use it against the Guardians, and the Guardians want to find it because they are currently experiencing some newfound powers. Haylin is now able to tell whenever somebody is lying. Tehrani can hear people's thoughts. Cornelia is able to heal any kind of injury. Irma can see like premonitions of the future, and Will is just constantly having these like outbursts that cause giant blasts of energy that could potentially destroy things around her. And none of them really know how to control these powers, why they're happening, and they're hoping that this book can provide them with some answers. Alright, so I'm about halfway through the second volume in this arc, and it just keeps getting better, my friends. So remember how I mentioned that there was this book that somehow like unlocked the secret power of the elements? Well, long story short, Cedric has it in his possession. There's some kind of monster, some kind of somebody locked inside the book, and they're basically making a deal with Cedric saying, look, you have to find these like 5 gemstones hidden around the town, and they represent the good side of the 5 elements. You have to find them, put them inside the book on my cover, and then I will be released from this prison and I will give you back your power. Cedric agrees to this because he's just sick and tired of living in a human body. There's actually this really funny part where he just like gets so frustrated that he starts like angry crying. I think we've all been there. And he is just like so shocked, like he's never cried before. He's like, what is this like wetness on my face? And buddy, the girls, they're dealing with their own like interpersonal drama, not so much like with each other, but in their relationships. I'm thinking particularly about Tehrani. So she has been dating this guy named Nigel for a while now. I was like really rooting for them in like the earlier volumes. I thought they were hella cute. But now Nigel is starting to piss me off. Tairani has been accepted into this really elite dance academy, and it takes up a lot of her time after school, so that obviously leaves not very many hours in the day left for her to hang out with Nigel. And Nigel has just been like a total dick about it. Like, he doesn't pay attention when she's talking about dance, he gets mad at her, and then this is something that really pissed me off, and I was ready to like climb into the pages of this middle grade comic book and fight this 14-year-old boy. He told her, "You're the most important thing in my life and I need to be the same for you." And like, just no. Anyway, what just happened is that Cedric has been like running this like local bookstore, and Matt, Will's boyfriend, will sometimes come in to like borrow books for school. One time, Cedric basically brings Matt into the basement where this like magical book is. When Matt tries to like open the book, it like swallows him up and like absorbs him, which is necessary in order for that whole like prophecy thing to happen, for the book to eventually open, all the gemstones, like that whole thing. And now Cedric is like putting on this performance and basically calls over the Guardian and is like, "I don't even know like what happened, like oh my gosh, it was just all so sudden and suddenly the book swallowed Matt, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do about it, blah blah blah." He's such like, I don't like him. And like, I thought they were going for like a redemption arc with him because he is starting to have some romantic feelings towards Arube, but I'm just not feeling it. I'm not really vibing with the redemption arc. Anyway, let me go figure out what the hell is gonna happen. I'm pretty sure the book, or whatever is like trapped inside the book, told Cedric that he needs to like use the Guardians to find all of the gemstones around town. So I'm pretty sure Cedric is gonna like team up with them, and then maybe he'll like learn the error of his ways. But you know, sometimes it's just a little bit too late. And I feel like maybe this is one of those instances. So I finished the 14th volume, and things are progressing pretty much how I thought they would. Cedric and all the girls are kind of teamed up right now. They're trying to find all the elements and gems that are hidden around town. They are first going to find the one related to water, which has been kept on this buried island. I've always enjoyed a good protagonist-antagonist team up. I like how even though the girls don't fully trust Cedric, they still feel like they have to work with him. I also like that we have this setup of what I assume is going to be like a mini quest for each girl. Like, all the 5 gemstones relate to their specific powers, and all of them are struggling with their abilities right now. So I think it would be really interesting to watch each of them confront that struggle with their powers and come out more strong on the other side. Let's talk about volume 15. First of all, let's talk about how insanely gorgeous this cover is. Probably one of my favorites in the whole series so far. So essentially the way this thing goes is the book will give the girls some kind of riddle, which will tell them where they have to go to find the stone. Once they get there, there is usually some kind of like environmental thing going on that's affecting them, that is trying to sort of stop them from getting the gemstone. And there's also what is known as an eternal custodian who is looking after the gemstone, and they basically have to like fight this like monster to get the stone. So in Irma's case, when they go to this island, every single one of the girls are presented with these illusions of people that they love and their past memories, and they get really caught up in the illusions. But the illusions are dangerous because they basically almost kill the girls. When it comes to Tairani's turn, she is actually like very much seduced by the eternal custodian, who tells her like, "We are like the fire children, you belong here with us." And Tairani has to kind of like battle against that. When it comes to the air and earth elements, the gemstones, the group actually splits up. So Haylin and Will go to get the air gemstone, and Cornelia, Irma, and Tairani go to get the earth one. When it comes to Cornelia's sort of quest finding the earth gemstone, there are these like toxic plants that emit this gas that makes Tairani and Irma believe that Cornelia is a hallucination and not the real Cornelia. So Cornelia has to like basically fight her own friends. And Will and Haylin are on these clouds where they have to get the gemstone, and Will is falling asleep. The more she falls asleep, she starts to like sink through the clouds and could potentially fall. And now, at the very end of the volume, all of the gemstones have been found, and the final gemstone that is needed is actually the heart of Kandrakar. And Will is very hesitant because obviously she wants to get Matt back, but giving up the heart of Kandrakar, that's giving up her powers, that's just like not even fathomable. But before she can even really make a decision, something reaches out from the book and grabs it, and grabs her. We are in a little bit of a pickle, if I do say so myself. At the same time the girls are out on these quests, Cedric is also getting closer to Arube. They're spending a lot of time together, and he is sort of realizing that he has feelings for her. Like I mentioned before, I just don't really care. I don't care if Cedric gets redemption either way. If he does, cool, good for him. If he doesn't, cool, good for everyone else. So I finished the 16th volume, and with that, the arc of the Book of Elements is now completed. And it was fairly quick to get through because every single other volume has 250 pages, but this one had only about 185. So TLDR, the Guardians got absorbed into the book, they managed to defeat and destroy the book, and they saved Matt, and now they're just trying to get back to their regular lives. Matt kind of had this epiphany where he just feels like a lot of his life has sort of been revolving around Will and keeping the secret of her powers, of Meridian, of the Guardians, and he just kind of feels like he doesn't really know who he is personally, and he wants to figure that out. It was a moment of depth for his character that I didn't really expect. I'm gonna be honest, even though Matt has been Will's primary love interest since the very beginning of the series, I've never really had a strong emotional connection to him, but I feel like I am starting to appreciate him as his own character now. And what was really cute is that at the end of the book, basically there's this portal that's been opened in Cedric's old bookshop. Oh yeah, Cedric died. I completely forgot to mention that. Cedric is dead. Cedric had this moment where he sacrificed himself so the girls could get out of the book and keep their powers, and he's dead now, and I don't really care. I don't know, I feel like it's such a cop-out to have this last moment of sacrifice and then, oh, that's his redemption. He didn't really do anything in his life that made him a very redeemable person. Disregarding the whole Cedric is dead tangent that I went on, the girls are now sort of in possession of his old bookshop. Arube basically gifted it to them. And there's this portal that's opened up in the basement that allows them to have direct contact with the Oracle. And so they were like, oh my gosh, this should be our witch headquarters. And it was just really cute. They were talking about how they're gonna dress it all up and interior design and witch HQ, and it was really cute. I mentioned this before in my previous vlog, but I really like that consistently throughout the Witch series, anytime the girls are struggling with something internally, there is always also an external threat or monster or whatever, what have you, that they also have to fight against that sort of mirrors their internal state. In this arc, the girls were struggling with controlling their powers, and by going on all these individual quests to find those gemstones, they were then able to overcome that struggle and insecurity. What's interesting about this arc and the way that it ended is that I feel like we've left the girls in a pretty stable place. Phobos is gone, Cedric is gone, there aren't really any other monsters or big bad guys who are sort of looming in the background right now. I also want to show you guys something super cute. So at the end of this volume, there's a bunch of pictures and fan art and specially commissioned artwork for the 50th celebration issue of Witch. Hopefully you guys can see that. I remember when I was younger, I was so obsessed with Witch that I would just trace and outline all of the pictures of them. I wouldn't even try to draw them on my own. I would just line up a piece of paper with the comics and just draw and trace them over and over again. Alright, so I just completed arc number 6, and that included volume 17 through 19. I have to say that this arc, which was entitled Ragorlang, was not nearly as interesting, enthralling, etc. as the previous arc. It was lacking, it was just lacking, okay? We basically have, the main plot, which is that there's this woman named Tekla who creates these, shadow monsters called Ragorlings. And they basically suck up a person's memory and energy. It's up to the witch girls to destroy these monsters and also to take down Tekla. But at the same time, so many, other mini subplots were thrown in there that just really went nowhere and contributed nothing. For example, there was this whole 25-page tangent about Irma and her stepmom fighting with each other and basically explaining how Irma's stepmom came to date Irma's dad and how she became like the primary mother figure in Irma's life. Like, where did that even come from? There was also this like totally random plot where everybody in Heatherfield suddenly had magical powers and anything that they wished for came true, and it was resolved in like 50-ish pages. Like, why was that necessary? Like, you're just dragging your feet trying to get to the end of this arc. There were just so many instances like that that had nothing to do with like the fight against Tekla and the Ragorlings, and I was like, can we just get back to that, please? Anytime that like the romantic subplots come up or the romantic relationships are given some like spotlight, I'm just like, okay, can we just get to like something else, anything else? Like I'd rather hear about the girls and their friendship. And once again, their friendship was like really emphasized in this volume. They managed to defeat the bad guy because they unified and were all like, oh, we're gonna fight this battle as one. And then the Oracle was like, look, the girls and their friendship is like strong enough for them to defeat the evil. And like, it's cheesy, yes, but like, I also love it. So at this point, I have read, along with you guys, 7 volumes of Witch. I've covered 2 arcs, and I think this is about the place where I'm going to wrap it up. Let me know if you guys want me to make a part 3 to this video. I might just keep making Witch vlogs until I'm finally caught up and read all the arcs. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. If any of you have read these arcs, go ahead and tell me what you thought of them. I love you all very dearly, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!